Welcome back to Bay Sunday. We're still talking about last week's election. This morning, America not only chose a new commander-in-chief, we also chose a new first lady.
This man I have known for 18 years, and I have come here today to talk about our partnership, our family, and what I know for sure in my heart about this man who will make America great again.
Come January, Melania Trump will be America's new first lady. In fact, there will be a whole new first family moving into the White House. Here to talk to us through that transition is a political scientist and White House expert, Dr. Lauren Wright. She's the author of On Behalf of the President, Presidential Spouses, and White House Communications Strategy Today. Welcome, Dr. Wright.
Thanks for having me.
So you wrote this book. I know your dissertation was something related to this.
That's right.
Tell us a little bit about Melania Trump. She's not your typical FLOTUS. I think many people would agree to say that. What do you think her role is going to be in this new White House?
Well, her role will be whatever she wants it to be. And that's so important to understand because Melania Trump, like every first lady, is and will be severely underestimated in her ability to influence public opinion of the president, to shape policy initiatives if she wants to get involved, and really to shape the image of the Trump administration altogether. And I think she has all those capabilities.
Do you think she faces an even a more uphill battle, considering the nation, essentially, we had Hillary Clinton, who had the popular vote, but did not get the electoral vote. There's a lot of angst amongst many people out there in this country.
That's exactly right. I think what she can do is sort of soften that angst. I think she can show the human side of Donald Trump. And actually, I'm so surprised there wasn't more of that on the campaign trail. That speech we just watched was so late in the game. If that would have been her RNC speech, we would have maybe seen something different unfold as far as her role. But to answer your question, I think that she can absolutely soften his image. She will take people behind the scenes. About life in the White House is something so many people are interested in. And if he has strict policies, really controversial agenda items like we know Donald Trump does, she can pick projects that humanize those policies. She can pick projects that get people to consider them in a different way.
When you talk about polls, Gallup poll recently did one. They had Michelle Obama, 64% favorable rating, Bill Clinton, 49% as the possible. We now know that that's not going to be the case.
Right.
He's not going to be in the White House as the spouse of Hillary Clinton. And then Melania at 38%. Why do you think that is?
I think it's because of the lack of presence on the campaign trail. I think when people don't see someone very often, then it's a less reliable measure of how people feel about her if they haven't really been exposed. And so I think what we've seen, because actually her net favorability was a -2 when Donald Trump announced, it has gradually increased from there as she's become more of a public presence.
Do you think part of that might have to do with the fact that she might not be as educated as Michelle Obama or previous first ladies, Laura Bush, who earned their degrees here in the United States?
I'm not
possibly
sure.
Even some of her modeling career.
Sure. I think if I had to guess, and I do have survey data on Melania Trump, and what I found was that the only area of Donald Trump's image she was not able to influence was this relatability factor. And she is, after all, a former high fashion model married to a billionaire, and that's not something a lot of Americans can relate to. But what they can relate to is her immigrant experience. She moved here and learned English. She started out in life as a teenager working as a model in an industry that's wrought with a lot of the gender issues that a lot of other women face.
And her family background is pretty interesting too. Her father was some sort of auto parts mechanic, or he sold parts in her own country. Tell us a little bit about the online bullying. She has come out and said that one of the things that she wants to tackle is online bullying. Do you find it a little bit that it might be a little bit of an oxymoron, considering that many have criticized Donald Trump, her husband, of bullying online with his Twitter account and social media?
Well, the fact that the media narrative has been that it's sort of a paradox for her to be tackling online bullying, I think says that perhaps it's not going to be the most effective initiative, but that could change. From my research, what I show is that when first ladies pick projects that are related to presidential policy, that is very effective among the American people. A couple examples: Laura Bush's literacy initiatives with No Child Left Behind, Michelle Obama's Let's Move initiative with the Affordable Care Act. When those things are in lockstep and the American public can look at the bigger picture, that's when first ladies can move the needle.
All right, we have a little bit of time left. Tell us a little bit about the transition. You're part of the White House Transitional Project. Tell us a little bit about what that entails.
That's right. The White House Transition Project is a group of scholars, some journalists, and they come together every 4 years to provide nonpartisan information to incoming administrations. And so we put together a big briefing book. I wrote the East Wing piece of it with another scholar, and both campaigns received a copy of that, the Clinton and the Trump campaigns. And whether they read it or not is up to them, but the information is there.
How would you summarize it?
The transition project?
What you wrote for them.
Oh, sure. It's a history of the office. You know, Melania Trump didn't have a lot of experience. She went to the White House for the first time yesterday. So it's a history of the office, sort of a what to do, what not to do based on what former first ladies have done. And it's some of my data analysis as far as popularity ratings, the impact of partisanship on how people think about the first lady. So a few tools, if you will, for the incoming spouse to have in their toolkit.
Dr. Lauren Wright, thank you so much for joining us here this morning.
Thank you very much.
For once again, the book is called On Behalf of the President, Presidential Spouses, and White House Communications Strategy Today by Dr. Lauren A. Wright. Thank you so much for joining us. We'll be back with more Base Sunday after this break.